A lot of people who come to the museum ask us the proper terminology. Are these dummies? Are they ventriloquial figures? Well, the technical term is they are ventriloquial figures. When you think of a guy with a little wooden dummy on his knee, that's a ventriloquial figure. Notice I also said dummy. They're really interchangeable. They're all puppets. All dummies are puppets. Not all puppets are dummies, but all dummies are puppets. Vent Haven Museum is a wonder. We are solely dedicated to preserving the art of ventriloquism, anything and everything to do with ventriloquism, from props to puppets to photos to ephemera to everything.
Van Haven Museum was founded by William Shakespeare Berger, who lived from 1878 to 1972, got his first dummy in 1910, and he incorporated the museum in 1963. He just had a love of the art form and began collecting in 1910 and very actively collected for about 40 years and amassed a collection of about 500 dummies and puppets by the time he died in 1972.
W.S. Berger initially started calling this Vent Haven because Haven, of course, is a place of rest, and vent is short for ventriloquist or ventriloquism, so it was the Vent Haven. It was the place where ventriloquists could come and hang out, and where they could leave their dummies when they were gone, and they would always have a place here where they could rest. The original Vent Haven building was his garage. He converted it and eventually added on to it, and then since then, 3 more buildings have been added onto the property. We are closing in on 1,000 figures. We're hoping to hit that within the next year or so. We have about 980, I believe, right now, and of those, more than 850 are actually on display.
When Mr. Berger started collecting, he would buy and sell and trade with people from all over the world. And before he passed away in 1972, he had dummies from dozens of countries. As the collection has grown, that has continued to happen. We don't buy and sell and trade like he did. He wanted the collection to strictly grow, and so the dummies come in still from all over the world, but they're all donated today. We do not have an acquisition budget, nor did Mr. Berger want to set up the type of competition that might happen if there were a budgeted item for acquisitions.
We have dummies dating back to the mid-1800s, back to the Civil War era, and as recent as last year. So there's an incredibly wide range of ages, of materials. We have dummies that are made from wood, from fiberglass, from paper mache, from resins. Even we have one made of steel. So just about anything you can name as far as a media, we have a dummy made in that media.
When the dummies come into the collection, they have a story. Sometimes damage that they arrive with is part of their story. We have dummies that have been in fires or floods or were fallen off a stage, and they end up getting a little ding or a broken hinge or something like that, and it's part of their story. We don't want to repair that. We want to include that when we're talking about that piece. We do have dummies repaired if damage occurs to them while they're here. For instance, if a dummy were to fall out of its chair or get bumped by a tourist and it causes a problem. We rely on professional figure makers to do that work for us. I treat them as if they are pieces of artwork or if they are delicate musical instruments. I do handle them. I do know how they work. But I don't look at them as my property. I look at it as my responsibility to care for them.
There's a whole display here of Jeff Dunham, some of his characters, Darcy Lynn, Jay Johnson, all the names who are still hot today. We have examples of their characters on display. Many people also remember Jimmy Nelson from the days that he was the spokesman for Nestle Chocolate. N-E-S-T-L-E-S, Nestle makes the very best chocolate. And they remember the dog, Farfel, with the clap at the end, that he would snap his jaws. We have Jimmy Nelson's stunt Farfel here. Stunt Farfel, what is that? Well, in those commercials, Farfel did some crazy stuff. He would ski off a slope. He was in a race car. He did all kinds of crazy things. And Jimmy had a stunt Farfel built. Every puppet here has its own story. Some are heart-wrenching. Some are amazing. I get emotional talking about it. There's one puppet here that has the most amazing backstory. It was carved by a German prisoner of war in a Russian prison war camp in 1942. He had been a well-known variety entertainer in Germany, and when he was captured by the Russian army, He thought to while away the hours, he'd make a little dummy to entertain his fellow prisoners. Well, he realized that the Russian uh, soldiers also appreciated the comedy, and he actually used this puppet to get additional food rations for his fellow prisoners. So I guess I would have to say my own personal favorite is the little German head, Roland.
As I've learned about the individual pieces and been here for hundreds and hundreds of acquisitions, I've really grown to be very connected to the collection. I feel very protective of it. And I really have a lot of respect and regard for both the people who have made the dummies as well as all the ventriloquists who use them. With each tour, I don't know why the visitors are here. I don't know if they're going to know the names in ventriloquism or they're here because we're just a unique museum. They come in with some preconceived notions sometimes, but without exception, after being here for about an hour, tourists will say, I had no idea it would be this cool. They come here, they learn things, they engage with the collection, and there's something here for everybody. So it's very satisfying at the end of a tour to wave goodbye to people and knowing that they're going to go and tell their family and friends that they've seen the coolest thing that they've ever seen at Vent Haven.
There's not a person who walks through the door of Vent Haven who doesn't look around and say, wow, this is not what I expected.